Well, the Pentagon says a tanker attacked off India's coast on Saturday was targeted by a drone fired from Iran. The strike caused a fire on the vessel, but there were no casualties reported. The Indian government says the tanker was carrying crude oil inbound from Saudi Arabia. No one has claimed the attack. In recent weeks, Houthi rebels in Yemen have repeatedly attacked ships in the Red Sea with drones and declared all Israeli-affiliated vessels to be legitimate targets. Well, Elisabeth Kendall is a Middle East expert at Cambridge University. Good to have you with us, Elisabeth. The US says Iran is responsible for that latest attack on the tanker off India. How credible is that claim?
Well, it certainly would represent a step change in what we've seen so far. There would no longer be plausible deniability from Iran by using its proxies in the region. But I don't think there's any doubt to question, there's any reason to question US intel on this. It does fit a pattern of behaviour from Iran, which since mid-October has been pursuing a strategy of gradual escalation, and it would make logical sense for Iran. Attacking global shipping is a highly effective way of focusing international attention on trying to perhaps rein in Israel's actions in Gaza. And although these attacks are very worrying and highly aggressive, it is treading a careful line still between actually sinking vessels or creating crippling damage or engendering loss of life. So for now, at least, this does look still carefully calibrated to create maximum disruption, but without actually provoking all-out war.
The Houthi rebels in Yemen have carried out more than a dozen drone attacks on ships in the region in recent weeks. Does intelligence suggest that Iran is involved in all of these attacks?
Intelligence does suggest that Iran is heavily implicated in the Houthi attacks in the Red Sea. The Houthis simply could not operate at this level with this kind of weaponry and this kind of training without Iran's help. Now, it is worth pointing out, however, that the Houthis are not a direct proxy of Iran. It's very unlikely that Iran has total command and control over them, and the Houthis have embraced these Red Sea attacks for their own reasons. Their slogan is very similar to Iran. It includes death to Israel, death to America, curse on the Jews. And of course, the Houthis benefit from playing the hero, defending the Palestinian underdog that rallies their base, and it increases their leverage in the ongoing talks with Saudi Arabia. So we mustn't underestimate the Houthis in their own right as an adversary, but Iran is very much behind them.
We've been looking, Elisabeth, at a map for some context. Most of the ships that were attacked were targeted in the Red Sea. This latest attack took place on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula off India. How significant is it that ships are being attacked across a much broader stretch of water now?
Well, this is a significant change, and it could be part of Iran and its proxies testing the red lines of the United States and its allies. But this is a highly volatile situation, and the worry here is that there could be a miscalculation or a risk of an escalation. There are a number of possible game changers. I think if there's loss of life, that would be a game changer. If a ship actually sinks, that would be a game changer. And if this carries on for an extended period, crippling global trade, that would be a game changer. And in this specific situation, I think if the conflict and the attacks on shipping spread consistently to a broader geographical region beyond the Red Sea, then that may well start off a chain of events that could lead to a much more conflagrated conflict.
And just briefly, it's worth asking, the US has asked that more than a dozen countries participate in joint patrols in the region. Is there a tangible coalition coming together to try and restore security here? Briefly, if you could.
There is a coalition coming together, but I don't think we should overestimate its effectiveness. A coalition has been in place, a maritime force, for about 20 months now, since April last year, and it wasn't very effective. So it's difficult to know what that force could actually do other than just be there to shoot down existing missiles. So let's not over-egg this force.
Elisabeth Kendall from Cambridge University, thank you so much.
You're welcome.